Hello, this is Judith. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live. Let me find my place a little bit better. No, just go here. It's not so easy. I don't know why. I think the camera is different than the other camera that I'm using for the videos. So yeah, hello, very warm welcome. I'm starting off with a general clearing because I always feel that the energies when you're live on YouTube, there's so much going on, and of course we are like connecting in with all of this, right? Once we are live, then we are out there and with all the other energies that are in the mix, and so. Just to give us a really clean slate and a pure energy, I do a little energy clearing here. Let's settle in. Krishna, Durga, the Arcturians and their guides, Ashta Command, Intergalactic Committee, Anunnaki, shields, fractals, and spying devices transform. Implants, first layer of the aura and beyond, clear. Demonic, satanic, luciferic, source of all evil and other dark energies, clear. With the help of Kali, Krishna, masters of the rays, and Christ. Clear curses in relation to Earth and other locations. Clear entities in relation to inside, in relation to outside of each and every one, and also clear the technology that we are using, clear the energy for YouTube, and give us all like a bubble of protection, give this work a bubble of protection, right? So that we are not influenced by outside energies here. So yeah, as always, like we're talking about the twin flame journey, and I'm at the moment like pulling 2 cards just to check in with spirit and like asking what the collective needs to know. And so the first card that came out is this one. I'm just like showing you right away. Every relationship I establish is eternal. Yeah, and that's of course a big like it's an image for twin flame union, right? It's an eternal relationship. It's your eternal romantic love relationship. And what does that mean? So there are things that I know and there are things that I don't know, right? So what I know for sure is that the vibration that you establish in relation to romance, in relation to a romantic relationship, that's something that persists into all eternity, and you pick up on it every lifetime and you work on it. Of course, it evolves, right? And you can experience all kinds of things that are weighing you down when it comes to relationships. But once you consciously start to work on that, what we are doing as twin flames, then you are kind of diving into the conscious creation of what you want this romantic relationship to look like, right? How does it feel? What is this love? How is it feeling? Very often, twin flames, they say, "I want my relationship to feel free. I want my relationship also to feel secure. I want it to feel." Yeah, it has a lot to do with freedom, right? That this love is like coming to you, mirroring you at the core, who you really are deep down, right? The love that you are deep down. That's amazing, right? That's amazing, and that's basically what we want to establish when it comes to when it comes to romantic love, right? I don't know why you cannot read it so good. Every relationship I establish is eternal. And then they have, the two of them have kind of a spark in their hand, which I see it as the sun and the moon, right? I see this as the moon and this as the sun, and the moon to me is the divine feminine and the sun the divine masculine. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's very often also referred to in many cultures as the divine feminine and the divine masculine. I really don't know what else I want to say. Maybe I read the card. It is our desire that you come to remember that every relationship is eternal and that once it has been established, it is a part of your vibrational makeup forevermore. And that in your powerful now, where all that you have become converges with all that you are now becoming, you hold the power to create. And so your observation of a situation, wanted or unwanted, no matter how remote you believe yourself to be, makes you a co-creative partner of this experience. Yeah, so it's all about our perception, right? How do we perceive our romantic partner? Do we perceive our twin flame? That's very important, right? What are we focusing on? Because there are a lot of things that might be true about our partner, about our twin flame, but maybe not everything is wanted. So we are very, very used to focus on the unwanted, on the problem, right? That's part of our upbringing, that's part of our culture, that's part of what we believe life is all about, where it's really the opposite, where you put your energy, those things grow, right? Where your energy flows, where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So the energy is like fueling those issues. So what do you want to fuel? I mean, you would not want to fuel unwanted things, but actually that's what we do all the time. That's something that I'm really here to get this into perspective. That's one of the things that's on my list, right? On my put on my list by the divine, that I needed to learn that. Where do I put my attention? And of course, that's something you would like to check every day, every moment. It's not that you cannot really check it off the list, right? It's always there. It's a matter of awareness. And so the symbol of eternity, sorry, the symbol, eternity symbol, the lying 8 here, flat, is like going around the eyes. So perception, right? What are you focusing on eternally? There might be things like going on around, all around, but you would not focus on them. You would keep your eyes fixated on what you want to create, on what you want to perceive, on what you want to grow, on what you want to fuel, right? And that's also with your twin flame. And very often we look at the other person and we are triggered, right? And then we keep looking at the problem, whereas the issue that comes up can be dealt with, right? You just clear it. There are various tools how you can do this. And I have my methods. It really just depends on what comes up. There are different, very precise tools to deal with different issues that come up. And And so that's what I call in my work the black pillar. That's the shadow work, right? Whereas focusing would be the white pillar, and this would be like, where do I put my attention? What do I create, right? That's something that we can do together here on YouTube. We can focus together and we can learn to put our energy on the things that we want. For example, our divine relationship. So come to this place of gratitude with our divine counterpart. First of all, being grateful that we have this person in our lives, right? Whether he or she is with us right now or not, but you met this person, you had this encounter, and so you're activated, right? This connection is there. You have created this relationship already, and it's echoing and evolving into all eternity. So yeah, the question maybe is, do we really experience this love relationship that we created each and every lifetime with the same person? I don't know about this, right? But certainly the same flavor, and maybe even with the same, with the other half of our soul. It's very probable, right? Because when you think of polarity, it makes so much sense that there is one more female expression and one more male expression that have this kind of magnetism and that match perfectly, right? That makes so much sense. And this is regardless of gender, right? In same-sex couples, there's equally like one holding more the feminine expression and one more the masculine expression of the energy. So I hope you agree with me. I don't know. There's so many things, and young people have different ideas, though I might not speak for everyone, but that's my perspective, right? That's my perspective when it comes to twin flames. Because masculine and feminine energy showing up in everything, that's a universal law, right? So that's why I think it's important for us to deal with those energies, and to find out more about what those energies are and how they flow, and how they and what can block them, right? What can block their flow. So we want this flow here, right? That's basically something that we want to create. And you can imagine there being blocks. Now, this looks very much like the mental level, but also like what? How do we observe our divine counterpart? I brought my pendulum and charts, as I always do in the lives, and let's have a look what is blocking this eternal relationship, right? Just like asking spirit where we want to go with that. What is blocking this eternal relationship for the collective? Yeah, spirit is asking, what do you fear about the reality that you want to create? Yeah. So there's maybe something that is keeping you from going more fully into union, because on one hand you want to be there, on the other hand there is something where that makes you being afraid. What is that? Why are you afraid of going more fully into union? Be more precise, please. I cannot see that for the collective here on the channel. You're afraid of destruction. And that, to me, is the ego, the ego speaking, right? The ego is afraid of this destruction because actually the ego is going to be destroyed in the process of the journey. The ego is going. The ego has there are different, so many different perspectives on the ego out there. So one of them is, of course, we need our ego, right? It's like the ego is serving us in so many ways, but we cannot let the ego run the show when it comes to twin flame union. And basically, I also believe, or this is very much my perspective, that surrendering to the divine, or receiving things through being in alignment, is like the opposite of the ego in a way. So I'm not saying that we don't need the ego at all. I don't know about that, but a very much, it's very much my experience, my own experience firsthand, that we receive so much through alignment. Suddenly people come into our lives, other people are leaving, new opportunities are showing up, new ideas are coming up. We're looking, blocks are coming up for us to see more fully what's not working, what's in the way, right? So valuable information, the exact information that we need in order to resolve this block. We find our path in terms of tools and teachers and things like that. So many things come like effortlessly when we are in alignment, whereas resolving things with the vehicle of the ego, that's very, very hard, right? So, but the ego, of course, wants to hold on. And there is kind of a fight, and this has a lot to do with trust, has a lot to do with trusting. So you're afraid of destruction. Let's do a little bit of healing around this. Just need to know how to go about it. Let me check in with my charts here. What kind of an issue is that? It's an ancestral issue. So it's about not leaving the path of tradition. Yeah, staying on the path of tradition. Otherwise, you will be destroyed. Otherwise, you will leave the tribe, and so what are you doing then, all on your own? So this is past life. So let's ask for healing in relation to past lives, where you have been excluded from the tribe, from society, where you had to survive on your own, maybe outside of the village, outside of any community. This very often meant that you were like out to die. Yeah, so maybe your soul experienced things like that in past lives. So we ask to clear in relation to this, Archangel Michael, Lords of Karma. Clear for the collective on the channel and everyone's twin flame. And please do a soul retrieval for, in case soul fragments were left behind. Ask to free up those soul fragments, clear, cleanse, upgrade, and heal them. To retrieve them and to gently reintegrate them in relation to those specific past lives. Anything else? in relation to this, please, that we need to see. Just head down with the pendulum, right? I have things to do here. There is another energy coming up that is longing. And so, is this referring to the past lives, Spirit? It's referring to those past lives as well, where you were like excluded, though. So, what were you longing for exactly? What is this deep desire about? I have a deep desire for love. And it's not desire here, it's longing for love. So longing means not having, not having. So not having is not having. You cannot go to having from not having. Yeah, so it's kind of a trap. Longing feels very intense, feels very much like love, but in fact it has not a lot to do with love, because it comes from a place of lack. And that's also something that we have to understand along the journey, that it's good when longing comes to an end, right? We do the inner work, and then there comes this moment in time when we are like not longing for our twin flame anymore, and we suddenly think something is wrong. What's wrong with me? Why am I not feeling this anymore? And we think it's a bad sign, but no, it's a good sign, right? So longing comes from lack, whether it's from a past life experience or an experience that you made this lifetime, most likely as a baby or a toddler, because that's something that goes way back. Usually we do not develop this unhealthy kind of longing later on in life. That's my experience, right? I'm only talking about my perception and what I came to know, right, by working on my own issues and working with clients. So yeah, longing for love. This is a trapped emotion in your system, in your nervous system. That's my understanding. That's where the emotion is trapped. So we just ask for this emotion to be released. Let me just ask if it is ancestral. It's something that is on the ancestral level. So let's ask to clear this for the collective, for the collective and everyone's ancestry, past, present, and future. In highest good, right? It's your soul that decides whether the healing is received or not. Just something that we suggest, we offer this, or high beings are offering this, and nobody's forced to take that. It's very gentle, it's very respectful. That's what I like about this work. Okay, it's done. And there is nothing in relation to this at the moment. So of course, like what we are doing here, we are like scratching the surface a little bit. First of all, because it's obviously for the collective. It's not very specific for each and every one. And second, we don't have the time, or I don't have the time to stay here live forever and do healing with you. But let's see how it goes. These are the first steps for me now to put this out and to experiment with this and see how it goes. And so we'll see more clearly in a couple of weeks or months, right, where this is going. So, but I have a second card actually. In the second card here, that came out is this one. Our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. And we have like kind of a mother figure that is holding up her baby. And to me, this means she is thinking highly of this little being, right? She's thinking highly and only perceiving the good and wishing the good for this baby. So yeah, that's of course not only with children, right? Maybe you have children, right? I do, and that's really true that you evoke things in the other, and it when you spend a lot of time with someone, it matters a lot what you think about this person, how you feel about this person deeply. And I wish I knew this sooner in my life, because I would have had other relationships with the same people, really. It's such a difference when you, that in my perspective, there are two things that are helpful. One is like focus on the things that you love, that you like in other people, right? And if this is a person that you cannot stand, then it always helps to just say, I lovingly leave this person to his or her choices, and I keep choosing love, which to me is like self-love, right? Self-respect. And in this way, I can also respect other people. So of course, it doesn't help if we do not have our boundaries. Now with children, it's different, right? Right, with children, like we would we are the caregivers. It's a different role than with other people. But there's also an aspect in our twin flame relationship where we are kind of parenting our twin flame. We are parenting ourselves. We are like nurturing our inner child. We have this relationship with our inner child. So we are like giving our inner child a lot of the things that this inner child didn't receive, right? So a lot of the things we are giving to our inner child, or we are nurtured by the divine in this sense. So we are parent and child at the same time. And maybe you also saw your twin flame like in a way mirroring a parent, either your mother or your father. And this can happen, that they mirror to you certain attitudes, habits of a primary caregiver of yours, which doesn't mean that they are exactly like your father or like your mother, but there was an aspect at least highlighted, yeah, and there maybe, or very often, to trigger something, to trigger some issues that you have in relation to this father or mother figure. And later on, also, you will discover that your twin flame is the perfect parent, right, for you. That your twin flame equally embodies like qualities that you identify as a perfect father or a perfect mother, right? So that your twin flame is also parenting you, sometimes from afar, right? But notice those qualities, because our twin flame is everything at once, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. So it also depends. And of course, we always take what comes up. We would not want to avoid the triggers or avoid the bad feelings. We just want to take them as valuable information to deal with them and to clear, right? So we don't want to avoid them and to shuffle them under the carpet. That's not what we want to do. But yeah, this is white pillar work, right? Our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. So dealing with triggers is black pillar shadow work. Focusing is white pillar, yeah, your opinion. So if there is something that you like about your twin flame, nurture that, yeah. For example, if your twin flame has children, right, then you could focus on that, and you could maybe say something, if it's true, only if it's true, right? If you feel like it, I like the way that my twin flame is parenting. I very much see him being a loving and kind parent. I really deeply feel that he cares about his children or his child. I like that. I like that he is so aware of what this young person needs and wants, and that he is valuing connection in this way, right? And yeah, and for example, also when, for example, your twin flame maybe chooses to stay with his family, if he has a family, then that can be painful, right? But focus on the quality of that, right? Not that you don't have to ever like worry too much about this other relationship when it comes to twin flames. Yeah, I've talked about this I believe in the last live or in the last video. I don't know anymore, but you don't have to worry about that. And by focusing on the positive, you can never do anything wrong, right? It doesn't mean that when you say, I love how true my twin flame is to his children and how much he cares about them and how much he wants to do everything right, and doesn't want to hurt them, for example, doesn't mean that you reinforce him staying with the family forever, right, and never be with him. That's not how it goes. You basically want to give your twin flame the freedom to make his or her own choices. That's very, very important. You also want to make your own choices. And you want to trust that if this other person is your twin flame, then if you follow the path and you really go within and you be in union within, be in union with yourself first, right? And you have a relationship with the divine, and this is mirrored to you then on the outside, most likely with this person that is your twin flame, right? From this person. And the experience is, and that is my own experience as well, that those processes are always and highest good for everyone else. It's never so when it comes to twin flames, and for example, like a family breaking up, a relationship is no longer working. Like in my case, I split up with my ex-partner, the father of my child, and that was not because of my twin flame. That was, of course, also a factor, but the truth was the relationship was not healthy even before that, right? So it didn't really work, and it was a good decision for both of us, right? And even for our child. And the way everything went for us was good, was really, I think it was a healthy choice for everyone, right? And that's how it goes with twin flames. You never want to force decisions. You want to align with decisions. Yeah, align with healthy, for example, align with a healthy relationship. Yeah, align with healthy parenting. Align with your radiant inner child. Yeah, because when it comes to your relationship with your inner child, then you have different aspects of this inner child. You have a radiant inner child, a wounded inner child. What else? There are a couple of them, right? But you want to align with your radiant inner child. Yeah, that's choice. You want to work on your wounded inner child, shadow aspect, and you want to focus and align with your radiant inner child. That's where you want to go. That's like the light work, right? The white pillar work. Yeah, so I was talking about what you can appreciate in your twin flame. Let's go to the chart and see what Spirit suggests we should do in relation to this. So we have the wound of rejection. Spirit points out the wound of rejection. The feeling that comes with it is unworthiness. Let's see if we can get a more specific information. Is it unworthiness of a specific thing? Unworthiness of prosperity. And this basically means being ourselves, right? Always when I hear this, I always think of a 3-year-old, 2-year-old, like so much eagerness for life, so much emotions, right? Good and bad, but expression, and so much being in the moment, so much truth, so much openness, right? And so you can see so much from this inner being, from this essence, usually, right? If the child is not traumatized or something, and that's what I'm getting from this prosperity, right? It's not about money, but that's where money comes from. Money also comes from alignment, or that's the most joyful money that you can receive. Yeah, of course, you can beat someone over the head and take money from this person. That's also a way to get money. But the most joyful experience with everything is when it comes from alignment. So yeah, and when you're wounded, when you in this case, like it's the wound of rejection, then someone is like letting you know that you're not worthy of being yourself, even of expressing your truth, of expressing who you are. And most of the time, we also make that experience at a young age. That's my perspective, right? So let's do some clearing around this. Let's ask. So we really go to age 0 to 6 for the collective, and clear and ask the divine Archangel Michael, Lords of Karma, to please clear the specific flavor of unworthiness of prosperity. It's not in the lower chakras, it's in the heart very much. The energy is moving, that's a good sign. And that went great. So this is cleared. Another little piece, another little step. And also this wound of rejection is usually like made up of different aspects, right? And throughout you can be wounded at age 2 and then another wound at age 8 and maybe even later, right? You can have a wound of rejection. Maybe being rejected by a lover or rejected from jobs that you wanted. And so there can be various aspects and more than one emotion that is trapped in your system. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, a lot to ponder, a lot to let sink in for now. I think I'll leave it at that for today. Before I go, I ask Spirit if there is anything else. No, that's it for today. Yeah, and I don't know. You find some information in the description box below, like a link to my office. You also find a meditation that is completely free. It's designed to align you with self-love. I think that's very good because it puts you in a good place. It's like meditating, really, the benefit of a meditation, but just you have me like guiding you through for about 10 minutes. So it's something easy to listen to if you wish every day. I did this, but I did it on my own, right? I did exactly what I do, or more or less what I do in this guided meditation that I made for you on my own, right? For a couple of months, really, I took out 10 minutes every day, and after that, my twin flame showed up in my life, right? So and of course, then I skipped the meditation. I didn't do the work. I only wanted to have that person who was chasing after him, right? And learning about twin flames, and the journey began, right? And after a while, then I came back to that meditation, and I really discovered that it puts me in a good place. Even now, right? It's just a good tool to find alignment. And so since it is over the course of 10 minutes, that's already a lot, because I don't know if you know about connecting to the divine. There are certain sequences, like a small sequence around 16 or 17 seconds. It becomes shorter and shorter over the course of time. Yeah. Because energy overall is moving faster. You've heard that the earth at large is in an ascension process as well, which means that energy is moving faster. And of course, then everything is moving faster. Yeah. And so, yeah, let's say 17 seconds. And then if you repeat this over 68 seconds, so 4 times 17 seconds, you are already in a very, very different place. So if you focus on self-love for 17 seconds and another 17 seconds and then 68 seconds and you do it for 10 minutes, you have moved your energy to a completely different place. And if you need to do this on your own, of course, there are things that are getting in the way sometimes, right? Your thoughts are wandering, and so that's why it's very helpful to have something where you can follow through. Yeah, yes, this would be good also to talk about what meditation is actually. Yeah, I will ponder that. But for now, I wish you a beautiful day as always, and I see you in the next live or maybe in another video. If you have not been here from the beginning, then go back. There is an energy clearing at the beginning that would be maybe also interesting for you to experience. Bye for now, everyone. Bye. So here we go.